Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I guess I do know why. I asked, I remembered a song that Zoe wrote last year. There was a little period of time where Zoe and Holly and Dave were all trying to think of how to write songs that anybody could sing. So it didn't matter what your belief system was, that worship songs that anybody could sing. And I thought of this one very beautiful one that Zoe wrote. And I asked her if she wanted to do it today with me. And so we worked on it last night, and she's got a beautiful harmony part for it. But unfortunately, her cat disappeared this weekend, and so she spent virtually all day yesterday just on the porch, just waiting in case Audrey came home. So she didn't want to leave the porch. So I thought maybe we could start with a prayer for Audrey kitten to come home. She's kind of a scaredy cat, and she could easily have become scared outside, and she got out around sort of late in the evening 2 nights ago, and then she might hunker down someplace, but just sad, and all the neighbors are sort of looking forward to. Everyone's been so kind. So, Lord, love to ask for some providential grace here to help a kitty get home, and to just for the joy that it would bring to everyone. So please be with those who wait, and please be with those who watch and those who look, and please help this little one to be safe and sound and brought home. Thanks. And I also ask for you to be with us in all that we do today. Amen. So you just imagine Zoe's harmony. And in fact, I'm going to sing it quite a bit. It's simple. It was meant to be a simple kind of a chorus. So when you hear the harmonies, you can start to sing them too. We had to rewrite part of it last night because I can't sing the high parts. So then we rewrote it, and so there's a chance I'll remember the melody. I call on the blue sky to wrap round your shoulders. I call on the blue sky to wrap right around you. I call on the blue sky to wrap round your shoulders. I call on the blue sky to wrap right around you. I call on the sunset to wrap round your shoulders. I call on the sunset to wrap right round you. I call on the moonlight to wrap round your shoulders. I call on the moonlight to wrap right round you. I call on the sunrise to rest on your shoulders. I call on the sunrise to wrap right around you. I call on the sunrise to wrap around your shoulders. I call on the sunrise to wrap right around you. Your shoulders, I call on the blue sky to wrap right around you. I call on the blue sky to wrap around your shoulders, and I call on the blue sky to wrap right round you. So aside from the first opening prayer for Audrey to come home, what are other things that we should be praying for too? So I have a little talk, and it's a different kind of talk than ever, and it's been a while since I've said that. It used to be the thing I said every week. I have a talk, and it's completely different than anything I've ever done before. But this is completely different. I think, half different. So anyway, this talk is called Not of This Fold. It's by Peter Fitch at St. Croix Church. Sunday, May the 9th, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Happy celebration of life to all of us. Hi, Marion, come in. Hi, Dave. So this is the talk, Not of This Fold. Jesus has there's a beautiful chapter in John chapter 10. It's a beautiful passage, and Jesus is speaking in it, and he says, "Very truly I tell you, I'm the gate for the sheep. All who came before me are thieves and bandits, but the sheep didn't listen to them. I'm the gate. Whoever enters by me will be saved and will come in and go out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they might have life and have it abundantly." And then this passage morphs a bit, the metaphor changes, and Jesus says, "I'm the good shepherd." The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. The hired hand, who's not the shepherd and doesn't own the sheep, sees the wolf coming, leaves the sheep and runs away, and the wolf snatches them and scatters them. The hired hand runs away because a hired hand doesn't care for the sheep. I'm the good shepherd. I know my own know me, just as the Father knows me and I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. So this is the main passage, but what I'm really interested in is the verse that comes after this. But before I go there, let's just look. Who are the characters in these plays? Jesus personifies a gate. He says, "I'm the gate." So, and that somehow he's access to something good. There's thieves and robbers. They are some form of taker. There's the Father, who seems to be intrinsically good. And there's the sheep, who also, there's not a lot said about the sheep. But I'm guessing they're intrinsically good.
Maybe not bright.
Maybe not bright. There's the good shepherd, who lays down his life for the sheep. Yeah, I'll get to that. There's the hired hand who runs at danger. And there's the wolf, another taker. So it seems to me those are the characters. And the themes are safety, sacrifice in the face of danger, and deep knowing. I know my own and my own know me, just as I know the Father and the Father knows me. Deep knowing, deep knowing. And here's the next verse. I have other sheep that do not belong to this fold. I must bring them also, and they will listen to my voice. So there will be one flock, one shepherd. So I don't know what this means, this not of this fold talk. I think the traditional understanding that I would have been given in seminary is that Jesus is speaking about the Gentiles who will come to believe in Jesus. But I'm not quite satisfied with that answer. To me, it doesn't seem rich enough. You know, I think that the not of this fold might be bigger and might include all kinds of people that have the same heart as Jesus and are walking the same direction as Jesus, no matter where they're from. So that's what I want to play with today. Actually, Viktor Frankl, in this incredible book called Man's Search for Meaning, says this most interesting thing. I remembered it this morning, and I went and found it. He says, and it's there's two parts in Man's Search for Meaning, which I think is one of the world's great classics. And in the first part, as a young psychiatrist who had to go through Auschwitz and other prison camps, he describes what it's like as a psychiatrist observing people in prison camps. The second part of the book is all about 20 volumes of writing that he did on logotherapy, which was as a psychiatrist, he develops a way of looking at life, and it's called logotherapy, because logo is a reference to word or to meaning, and he thinks that we can't live without meaning. He thinks that we need meaning to get by, and then he tells us in this book different ways that we can achieve meaning. But Frankl says this near the end of the first part. From all this, we may learn that there are two races of men in this world, but only these two, the race of the decent man and the race of the indecent man. Both are found everywhere. They penetrate into all groups of society. No group consists entirely of decent or indecent people. In this sense, no group is of pure race, and therefore one occasionally found a decent fellow among the camp guards. Most of the guards were so cruel. They were caught in their own power dynamic, and they expressed their disdain. They dehumanized the prisoners in countless ways. But every once in a while, someone treated people with humanity. So he says, really, it seems to me that you can just divide people into two categories. There's really only two categories. There's not the ethnicities that we see. There's only decent and indecent. That's a very interesting way to look. And I thought, it's not that different than what St. Paul says in Romans 2. St. Paul says there are people who have the law and they try hard to follow it, and God will reward them. And then he says, and there are people that don't have the law, but they have the law in their conscience and they try hard to follow it, and God will reward them. So there's this beautiful thing in Romans 2, when Gentiles who don't possess the law do instinctively what the law requires. These, though not having the law, are a law to themselves. They show that what the law requires is actually written on their hearts, to which their own conscience also bears witness. And their conflicting thoughts will accuse or perhaps excuse them on the day when everything comes down. So it's kind of beautiful. Really, this is like, well, there's people that are striving for, pursuing honor and glory with perseverance. And there are people who have somehow turned against that. And actually, for most of us, I think we're both. It's kind of what I feel. Sometimes I'm definitely one. Can't tell you which one at this moment. Sometimes I'm definitely the other, you know. So it's kind of a complicated thing. Remember, Jesus said, "Don't come to the angels. Don't come and take the weeds away from the good plants. I'm afraid you'd hurt the good plants. Let them both grow up till the end." So today, what I thought I'd do is think about somebody though who might not be in the fold, in one sense, but in a very different way, might be deeply, deeply, richly in the fold. And these are I want to show 2 poems by Rumi. Here's just a little quote I found on the internet. You know, this same picture is given of Rumi all the time, which means that we don't have one. and I, you know, his dates, 1207 to 1273. His name is Jalal ad-Din Muhammad Rumi, and Rumi just means the Roman, because he came from a part of Turkey that was governed by the Romans. So everybody said, oh yeah, the Roman. Rumi just means the Roman. But Jalal ad-Din Muhammad, who is a Sufi, he's a part of the most beautiful kind of Islam, which is the Islam which is centered around love. And when we started taking groups to Turkey years ago, we were amazed to find out about Sufism. And these are the people that are whirling dervishes too. They get involved in a ritual, which is really a meditation, which is for, and Rumi is the greatest poet in this tradition. And he all of his poetry is to help you open your heart to have access to the spirit. So it's a really beautiful form of worship, and it's supposed to translate into loving acts of kindness. So it's a very beautiful system. And yeah, this quote that I found is, "You're not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop," which is something almost exactly the same thing that I just learned from Julian of Norwich, who lived just a little bit later, just in the next century. I've always found it amazing that Rumi and St. Francis were alive in the same century. That's always hit me. You know, I just thought, isn't it beautiful? And it's only a few years on before you have Meister Eckhart, and there's Gerhard Roth in the Netherlands. I mean, there's so many beautiful people who are looking for something deeper than traditional religion with all of its forms and all of its duties and all of its requirements. Instead, they're looking for love. They're just looking to build communities of love. And Rumi expresses this beautifully in 2 amazing poems, so that's what I want to share today. So not of this fold, not technically of the religious fold, but of the heart, I think so. Here's the first one. Can you even make the text a bit bigger? Even that's amazing. Can you guys see it? This is one of the very famous ones. We've shared before the Guest House by Rumi. A lot of people will look at that poem. It's a very well loved poem, talking about welcoming the emotions that come, even the bad ones, and learning from them. But this one is one that I love very much. When I see your face, the stones start spinning. So this is the person who's a spinning, whirling dervish. When I see your face, the stones start spinning. You appear, all studying wanders. I lose my place. Water turns pearly. Fire dies down and doesn't destroy. In your presence, I don't want what I thought I wanted, those 3 little hanging lamps. Inside your face, the ancient manuscripts seem like rusty mirrors. You breathe. New shapes appear, and the music of a desire as widespread as spring begins to move, like a great wagon. Drive slowly, some of us walking alongside our lane. Today, like every other day, we wake up empty and frightened. Don't open the door to the study and begin reading. Take down a musical instrument, Jacob. Let the beauty we love be what we do. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. I just love that line. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the door sill where the 2 worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. I would love to kiss you. The price of kissing is your life. Now my love is running toward my life. Now my loving is running toward my life, shouting, "What a bargain! Let's buy it!" Daylight, full of small dancing particles, and the one great turning. Our souls are dancing with you. Without feet they dance. Can you see them when I whisper in your ear? They try to say what you are, spiritual or sexual. They wonder about Solomon and all his wives. In the body of the world, they say, there is a soul, and you are that. But we have ways within each other that will never be said by anyone. Come to the orchard in spring. There is light and wine and sweethearts in the pomegranate flowers. If you do not come, these do not matter. If you do come, these do not matter. That's wonderful at the end too, isn't it? If you don't come, all of the beauty that's calling to me out of this spring, if you don't come, it doesn't really have any life. And if you do come, the life is so great I don't even care about them. In another poem, he's going to talk about, I didn't bring it, but there's a poem where he'll talk about, well, the Bible and the Quran are like ropes, and we're hanging on to them, trying to get up a cliff. And he says, and if we can manage to get up to the top, we don't need them anymore, because we escape into love. Yeah. Okay, so there's one beautiful poem. It's a very lovely one. And then this one is really interesting. Moses and the Shepherd. He uses a lot of biblical imagery. A lot of his writing is about Muhammad, of course, but quite a lot is about Old Testament figures and sometimes Jesus. And he speaks of Jesus in one place. I don't know if he meant to do it, but he quotes something that Jesus says and says, and God said this. And for instance, it's the Matthew 25 passage where as often as you do this, he said, and God said, as often as you do this, you've done it to me. So, and in one other place, I've heard this, but I haven't seen it. He says Jesus is really a Sufi. Moses heard a shepherd on the road praying, and this is how the shepherd prayed. God, where are you? I want to help you, to fix your shoes and comb your hair. I want to wash your clothes and pick the lice off. I want to bring you milk and kiss your little hands and feet when it's time for you to go to bed. I want to sweep your room and keep it neat. God, my sheep and goats are yours. All I can say remembering you is aye and aye. And Moses could stand it no longer. Who are you talking to? The one who made us and made the earth and made the sky. Don't talk about shoes and socks with God. And what's this with your little hands? Such blasphemous familiarity sounds like you're chatting with your uncles. Only something that grows needs milk. Only someone with feet needs shoes, not God. The shepherd repented and tore his clothes and wandered out into the desert. A sudden revelation came then to Moses. You've separated me from one of my own. Did you come as a prophet to unite or to sever? I've given each being a separate and unique way of seeing and knowing and saying that knowledge. What seems wrong to you is right for him. What is poison to one is honey to someone else. Purity and impurity, sloth and diligence and worship, they mean nothing to me. I'm apart from all that. Ways of worshipping are not to be ranked as better or worse. Hindus do Hindu things. Dravidian Muslims in India do what they do. It's all praise. It's all right. I'm not glorified in acts of worship. It's the worshippers. I don't hear the words they say. I look inside at the humility. That broken open lowliness is the reality. Forget phraseology. I want burning, burning. Be friends with your burning. Those who pay attention to ways of behaving and speaking are one sort. Lovers who burn are another. Don't impose a property tax on a burned out village. Don't scold the lovers. The wrong way he talks is better than 100 right ways of others. Inside the Kaaba, it doesn't matter which way you point your prayer rug. The ocean diver doesn't need snowshoes. The love religion has no code or doctrine, only God. So the ruby has nothing engraved on it. It doesn't need markings. God began speaking deeper mysteries to Moses, vision and words which can't be recorded here. Moses left himself and came back. He went to eternity and came back here. Many times this happened. Moses, it's foolish of me to try and say this. If I did say it, it would uproot human intelligence. Moses ran after the shepherd, following the bewildered footprints, in one place moving like a castle across a chessboard, in another sideways like a bishop, now surging like a wave cresting, now sliding down like a fish, with always his feet making geomancy symbols in the sand, recording his wandering state. Moses finally caught up with him. I was wrong. God has revealed to me there are no rules for worship. Say whatever, however your loving tells you to. Your sweetest blasphemy is the truest devotion. Through you, a whole world is freed. Loosen your tongue and don't worry what comes out. It's all the light of the Spirit. The shepherd replied, Moses, Moses, I've gone beyond even that. You applied the whip, and my horse shied and jumped out of itself. The divine nature and my human nature came together. Bless your scolding hand. I can't say what has happened. What I'm saying now, I can't say what has happened, says the shepherd to Moses. What I'm saying now is not my real condition. It can't be said. The shepherd grew quiet. When you look in a mirror, you see yourself, not the state of the mirror. The flute player gives breath into a flute. Who makes the music? The flute player. Whenever you speak praise or thanksgiving to God, it's always like this dear shepherd's simplicity. What do you think?
Quite a lot to take in.
Isn't there a beauty to it? That there's a call to something which goes beyond the forms, beyond the doctrines, beyond the ideas, beyond the things that we've taught that maybe at some certain place are desperately needed by our souls, but there may be that they would be a limit if we stayed there too long. And what we're being called to is, as it says in the Great Wagon, out beyond right doing, out beyond wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I will meet you there. Out beyond our perceived human understanding, there's a place just to meet with the Lord, and what the Lord cares about is not the way we do it or the words we say, or even the belief patterns that we think we have so beautifully in place. What the Lord cares about is the quality of the heart, the humility and the burning, the openness and the burning. And so I thought I'd try one more little worship song. Last week we said, what are worship songs that we remember from the past? And I think I almost can do one more. It may be that we have more than one, like that. I think there could be verses I don't remember, so if you remember them, let me know. So remember, what we want is humility and burning, and to meet God beyond our own understanding. Blessed be the name of the Lord. 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 For He is our rock. For He is our rock, He is the Lord. For He is our rock, for He is our rock, He is the Lord. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Jesus reigns on high in all the earth. 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 For you are our rock. You are our rock. You are the Lord. You are our rock. You are our rock. You are the Lord. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be the name of the Lord. So I thank you, Lord, for people from various folds who love you with all their heart and who do everything that they can to grow towards love and to let love radiate through them. And I don't think our particular forms of worship matter the most to you. I don't think that our words matter the most to you. But I think that you value the kind of heart that Jesus told us about in the Beatitudes: the poor in spirit, the merciful, the meek, the peacemaker, the one who's persecuted for righteousness. Lord, the pure in heart. Please help our hearts to be full of humility, appropriate emptiness, and burning at the same time. Amen.